Right, so in this update video is what we're going to be covering is the problems with the up brakes, which you saw on the previous video. What we've booked up to about November of this year for 2022, and what we need to do before the end of January. And I'll also mention some of the upcoming videos I've got. I think that's it, isn't it?
I think that's it, yeah, I think that's what you said. Shall we get on with it then?
Yeah. Yeah, so we had some problems with the UPS brakes. What a daft name for a car. The VW UPS brakes.
Yeah.
Up, exclamation marks.
That's
brakes.
right, don't forget the exclamation mark after the up.
You probably saw in Friday's video when we set off, the handbrake was seemed to still be on. And you can move it backwards and forwards and eventually it releases, but not ideal. And it seems to be when it's been sitting in the wet for ages. I think it almost like the brakes have rusted on. So I'm going to take it into the garage and they're going to have a look at the brakes, if they're going to overhaul it. Can't be doing that. But even worse than that is when we set off back home from Troutbeck, I could not unfree the brakes. It would not.
Oh no.
The only way I could do it was I dragged it off the pitch and left a sort of a trail where the wheel was dragging until I got onto the tarmac, and eventually after about 5 minutes it released. So I think that's the reason for the problem we had with the car going one way and the motorhome going the other.
Yeah, I don't know if it's anything to do with the steering lock on or anything to do with the A-frame. I felt, well, you know, we had that problem setting off from here, that it was like something was pulling it back.
So I mean, if one wheel was still locked and the other one wasn't, it might well get pulled over to one side.
Yeah.
So anyway, they're going to have a look at that on Monday and let me know what the damage is going to be.
Yeah,
and,
it's an expensive little car.
Sorry?
It's been an expensive little car this
Well,
last
it gets
year.
to that stage, doesn't it?
Yeah.
When cars get to about 7 years old,
It's getting
to 7 years old, you know, you start getting little sort of niggles like that, and you spend more time fixing it than driving it.
Yeah.
So it was nice actually when we met someone on the last day who had a VW Up GTI.
Yeah,
and
the
I was
red
going,
one.
oh, look at that.
Yeah, it's nice, yeah.
So
So onwards then.
Onwards. So what you've been doing mainly.
Yeah.
I've been sort of, I don't know what I've been doing really.
No, I don't know either.
It is booking sites and for our upcoming trips. We've actually got to the stage now where we've booked most of our trips and tours for the whole year.
Yeah, I mean, there might be a few tweaks. We might add a bit to it. So we're starting off the end of the month. We're going to Kettleby, is it?
I can't say
Melton Mowbray, meeting up with Sue and Trev.
Yeah.
Then February, at the moment.
Well, go on. We've never been to Kettleby.
No, and it's apparently very, very popular. So
right, okay. So looking forward to that. Should be interesting.
That's right. It was nice that you could actually look at the site plan and you could actually pick your own pitch. So we've done that, and Trev and Sue have done the same.
Yeah, we're about miles apart, aren't we?
Yeah, we've gone down one end and they've gone way over the other end. Yeah. No, I think we've got adjoining pitches, but
yeah. Okay, so that should be good.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do this year is go to some places we've not been to before.
That's
because
right.
we will be going to some places we have been
before, because we like going there.
Which
basically.
is a nice segue into the next one.
It is, isn't it? Well done, yeah. It isn't rehearsed.
No.
The next one will be Somers Wood in February. Fingers crossed, you know, for the NEC show. So we're booked to go there with Aileen and Bob, because Aileen hopefully has a stall at the NEC. And, we'll be looking at as many vans as possibly can.
Yeah, we're not going to look at hundreds. Like
No.
Well, we nearly looked at 100 one year. And
that was
just
too much. No, we can't do that.
Excuse me.
Right, so then...
So before we go on there, I just wanted to say one of the troubles you have with Somers Wood is you spend a lot of time in the van, getting a bit bored.
Yeah, because often you go in sort of most days.
Yeah.
And because you obviously can't take Poppy and Tara, the dogs, so Sometimes I'm dog sitting for Aileen's Bob and things like that.
Yeah.
So we probably will get out a couple of days, meet some friends, go and see Alison, with her camper van.
Yeah, and I'll try not to go in every day into the show, because I don't think I need to. I think I need to probably go in about 3 times.
Yeah.
And if I get in early in the morning, I can film most vans and get the filming done, and then it's down to getting the editing done.
Yeah, be getting back into the swing of it, because it's 2 years. Well, it will be 2 years since the last show we did like that.
So I forget how to film vans as well, and that's the other thing. It's like having to relearn what you need to say and what you need to look at.
That's right. Yeah.
The gross vehicle weight and
all that.
Payload and the length and the height. And,
Yeah. What sort of bathroom and
whether the bed drops down or.
Yeah.
Well, I'm quite looking forward to it, really, but I don't think you're quite so keen on it. But you will be coming with me.
Oh, we'll come with you on the days that I possibly can. Yeah.
So that'll be good.
Yep.
So coming up after that,
it's the Harrogate show.
Yeah, and a similar sort of thing applies to that. Probably less so, because it's only on for 3 days, the Harrogate show. But you will be coming in, and we will be dog sitting and.
Yes. Yeah. The Harrogate show is. A lot of it's outside, and particularly last year, a lot of it was.
Yeah.
And there's a lot more sort of accessories and older vans, aren't there?
Yeah.
Whereas the NEC tends to be a showcase for all the new vehicles.
I'm sorry, every time someone mentions older vans, I think of the low emission zone. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay.
Just popped into my head then.
Yes, so after we've been to Harrogate, I booked us some nights at Caton Village.
Yeah.
We went there when the Caravan and Motorhome Club had just taken it over.
Yeah.
And so therefore it was like it was originally, with the original toilet blocks. So we filmed that, so now we're going back again to see what improvements, how different it is, and hopefully Sam and Claire from Next Stop Everywhere will still be there as the wardens, so it'd be nice to catch up with them.
So we said we'd do a bit of filming with them, so that should be interesting.
Yeah. So then after that, you've booked a CL, haven't you, near Dewsbury?
Yeah.
And why
we don't do many
Dewsbury?
CLs, as a lot of people are aware, but there is a site at Dewsbury, and it's where my ancestors had a pub. There,
the Jockey, was it the Jockey Inn or something like that?
I think it was, Dewsbury. So I'm going to go back and retrace some of my family history. Some of you may know that Earnshaw is a very old Yorkshire name. And,
And your granddad, Maxwell Earnshaw, he was born in Dewsbury, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got married there, I think, to your grandma.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting, because I've never been to Dewsbury, so so that's what we're planning to do.
And Holmfirth as well.
And Holmfirth.
Well, actually Upper Thong, isn't it?
Upper Thong, yeah.
Upper Thong, yeah.
There's
a name to conjure with, isn't
we
there?
need the up to be fully working by then, because we would never get the van up there. I've looked at it on Google Maps, and it is up a narrow, steep road. And
I think even at Holmfirth it would seem pretty narrow. I know Northerners on tour went there, and we were quite interested when they were filming at Holmfirth. They stayed at a pub just outside Holmfirth, and I think they caught the bus in, didn't they, or something? I can't remember.
I think they did, or took their car, because they tow a car as well.
Oh, right,
so
okay.
Not sure what they did, but they had a good look round Holmfirth, didn't they? So
that's the reason I'm staying at a CL in Dewsbury, so that should be good.
And talking about the family history, the interesting thing at the moment is that the Find My Past website has got access to the 1921 census.
Yeah, it's credible, isn't it? Really, that's over 100 years ago now, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
But your parents and grandparents are appearing on that, and where they live.
Your Maxwell by that time has moved to Burnley.
Yeah, Maxwell Earnshaw.
Maxwell Earnshaw has moved to Burnley by then. I found my grandparents both lived in Wheatamstead in Hertfordshire.
Yeah.
And this was the year before they got married. They got married 100 years ago, in 1922, would you believe?
Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
So at this time, I see my grandma is aged 19 in 11 months in June 1921. So that nicely brings me on. It's really well rehearsed, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
To April, when we're going back to Ashwell again.
As we did last April.
Meet up with friends and etc. And one of the things I really want to do this time is to go to Wheatamstead.
Yeah.
Because we briefly went, didn't we, when we were doing like a little tour round of St Albans and everywhere.
Well, yeah, that was one that in 2018 when we were on our way to Europe, and it was a sort of whilst we're here sort of thing. So perhaps we'll spend a bit more effort and actually looking at some of the places in Wheathampstead and see if we can retrace the railway line where.
My great grandma used to catch the train to Green.
Someone worked on the railway line there.
Yeah, and the granddad's brother, well, I thought he was tragically killed falling backwards from the signal box there. But my great-great-granddad, so he worked on the railways as well. So there's quite a few family history linked to that. Obviously, the station the line is no longer there, but they've restored the platform, haven't they? And I've never seen that.
Okay.
So I want to spend a bit of time in Wheathampstead, so that's in April. And after that, we go to Ferry Meadows for the
Motorhome show.
Yeah, the National Motorhome show,
and we're going to Ferry Meadows because we're meeting up with Alison. She's bringing her van out there, which unfortunately she hasn't been able to use very much.
No.
So we're encouraging her to meet up there. She had a problem with a flat battery on that van, and one thing we found out was the van wasn't charging the vehicle battery. She had it plugged in in the garage, and we discovered it's not wired up, so unlike ours, it doesn't charge the vehicle battery.
Yeah.
So
I said Travel Trolls had that problem, didn't they?
Yeah.
I just assumed they all did like ours, that they charge both.
Which sort of proves that we don't know everything, really.
Well, it proves I don't know everything, No. Yeah. So then we've got May is just a
it's a meet
rally,
up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a meet up.
It's a meet up with Trev and Sue, Glyn and Sharon.
But it's organised by the Caravan Nut.
No, not that one. No,
oh, right.
No,
Which one am I
moving on to to June.
Oh, to June. What's happened here then?
May's not in there for some. May's just on the wall. Because I don't know where the rally is at the moment. You were waiting to tell me. So I've just merely put it up here.
Oh, Trev and Sue's rally.
Trev and Sue's rally.
Right, okay, sorry, yeah.
That's in May.
That's in May, so Trev and Sue's rally in May.
Yeah.
Oh, blimey.
Panic
then.
So I can't put anything in because I don't know where it is.
Do I know where it is?
I don't know. He was going to send you the details.
I think I do know where it is, so...
so you just haven't...
I'll have to put it on one of those things that go along here.
Yes. Well, you need to tell me, otherwise you see it's not
See, when
recorded.
I plan things, it doesn't go in a book or on a database
or anything. No. So it's a good job someone records things.
Yeah. So speaking of June.
Speaking of June, which you have told me about.
Yeah.
We've got a couple of meetups in June, haven't we? We've got the Caravan Nuts, Donkey Creek.
Yeah. So Martin and the Caravan Nut is having a meet-up at Donkey Creek Farm, which is just up the road from us, really, at Freckleton.
Yeah, I think I worked out to take about an hour, half an hour to an hour to get there.
I think about 40 minutes really, but there you go.
Yeah, so something like that.
So that should be good.
Then after that...
Hang on a minute. Oh, I need to know. Sorry. Yeah. And
after that, we've got a really long tour of 26 days.
Yeah. This is the big tour really, isn't it? In July.
Yeah, I'd planned... June.
Yeah.
I'd planned that we were going to go sort of Hastings, Brighton down there.
Yeah.
And then Ads and Zoe announced their Herman Fest.
Yeah.
So I've added that onto the beginning. So that's why it's ended up as 26 days, because I'd already planned everything else. So
that's the problem we have, is that we plan everything like almost a year in advance, don't we?
Yeah, and then someone says we're having this.
Well, by the way, we're having a meet-up next week.
Yeah, and I said, okay,
well, not next week.
Right, so obviously we'll have just come back from the Donkey Creek one, and then we're off again. Yeah. And we're stopping overnight Cirencester. Then we've got the Herman
Been to
Fest.
Cirencester before.
Yeah, so I don't think that's just an overnight stop.
Yeah.
And it's going to take us about 3 hours to get there, so
I
don't think we'll be doing...
And then we're going to Herman Hits the Road's Herman Fest.
Yeah.
At Round Hill Campsite. Again, we've been there before, but we haven't been in this van, have we?
No, the last time we went was in the little Bailey.
We took the little Bailey...
The Alliance 59-2.
Yeah.
So it's at least 3 years
I mean,
ago?
missed last year.
The year before it was cancelled.
Yeah.
So
So it'll be 2 years since we've been there.
And then we're just going just up the road, staying in the New Forest. Then
Rooksbury Park?
No, New Forest.
Oh, New Forest Centenary site, yeah.
Yeah, because I couldn't get in at Black Knoll.
No.
It's already
A very
booked.
popular site. Black
Yeah. Then we're going to some sites I haven't been to before. We're going to Rooksbury Park, Brighton, Ferry Light Wood, Hastings. Fairlight Wood, sorry.
Yeah.
We went there years and years ago, didn't we?
So we've never filmed it.
Never filmed it. Then we're going to Dale Acres, which we went to years ago, and we went on that little railway. Is that called?
Romney, Dymchurch and Hythe railway.
And it was long ago because we took Katie and Bonnie.
Yeah, it takes you down to the nuclear power station.
That's right. You filmed it on the little Sony thing, didn't
That's
you?
right.
Yeah. And then we're coming back from Kent, and I've booked a couple of caravan and camping club sites. One at Oldbury Hill, and one at Theobald's Park.
Again, we've never been there.
We've never been there, so...
No. So you can see the theme here.
Yeah, the theme is places we've never been. Yeah,
some we have been to.
For some we've been to. Yeah.
Right.
Then...
this is what you were doing yesterday.
I've been doing this most of this week, and it's...
doing your head in.
This part
told me a couple of times.
It was doing my head in.
Yeah.
We decided in August we'd try and go to adult only sites because to free them up for families because it's a big holiday month, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in England anyway.
Well, we did a Tranquil Parks tour a couple of summers ago.
Yeah.
Which was quite good. Well, obviously because it is adults only, not because we want to get away from kids, but obviously
frees it up for the families,
frees
doesn't
the
it?
other sites up for families. Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent a couple of days trying to find Tranquil Parks, Premier Parks, doing a Google search for adult only sites in Wales. Some of them, one of them we were too long for. That was the one at Abersock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and other ones, I got page not available and all those sort of things. So slightly doing my head in.
Well, it proves to us how difficult it is to book non-club sites.
Yeah.
If you're doing a tour.
Yeah.
And it's all right if you're going for a week or so. You could just ring them up and say, I'm coming for a week. Have you got a pitch?
Yeah, that's right. But we're trying to do 4 sites.
Dates.
Yeah, specific dates.
Adult only.
Adult only.
In Wales.
In Wales. Yeah. And not too far away from each other.
So
in a tour.
So what do we end up with?
What we ended up with was starting at Red Kite Touring Park.
Which is in...
now you're asking me.
It's in Shropshire, isn't it?
No, it's in Wales.
It's in Wales, okay.
It's a name
We'll
with
put a map up here.
a lot of L's in it.
Yeah.
And then you better say this one.
I practiced this, and I think it's a Roulon caravan and camping site.
Yeah, and that's just on the edge of the Brecon Beacons. So Red Kite is sort of mid-Wales. That's near Brecon Beacons.
Yeah.
Then after that, we're going up to, and you better say this one again.
Well, this is the easy one.
Is it?
Mini Don.
Mini Don. Near Harlech. Now that isn't an adult-only site because I really struggled to find any in that area that were.
Yeah.
And I didn't think we could go back to Coedy. Sorry.
Coedy Llwyn.
That's it, yeah. Again, although I love that site. So we're trying Mini Don because we've seen it, haven't we?
Yeah.
We just think the castle in the background and everything, the beach.
I suppose you want me to have a go at the next one.
And the final one is...
I think it's Rualt.
And that's in north-east Wales, isn't it? It's up
Rualt.
right up
Something
the
like
very
that.
top, so
Yeah.
that's sort of on our way back.
Yeah.
That looks very nice. That is adult only. And all of these I've been able to book a service pitch. So that's one thing you tend to find with private sites. There are a lot more
with service pitches.
You think of as service pitches.
Yeah, serviced pitches.
Yeah.
That means we're having water, electric, and sometimes waste disposal as well on the pitch.
Yeah.
Some of them actually have their own showers and toilets, don't they, as well? But
yeah, they do. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that nicely brings us round to September.
Yeah. Now if the regular viewers will probably remember that, was it 2020 we were meant to go to Northern Ireland?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had to cancel it for obvious reasons. So the ferry people have kept a credit, haven't they? Of that
for the
crossing.
ferry crossing.
Yeah.
We booked the ferry crossing through the Caravan Motorhome Club with P&O, and they kept a credit for the ferry crossing. And I think it was the original ferry crossing was 380,
wasn't it?
I think it was.
Yeah.
And we rang them up a couple of days ago, and the new ferry crossing, which is the same crossing, perhaps it's because it's different time, was 320, I think.
I think you said 338, but
oh right, okay.
It was a saving of about
so.
£30–40, wasn't it? So we still
yeah.
got a credit with them for that.
Yeah, so we could probably use that if we went on another ferry, perhaps to the Isle of Wight or something like that, which we haven't booked yet. But that's another story.
That's another story, yeah.
Yeah. I know you're following us so far.
Yeah, so everybody's gone.
So I'm absolutely thrilled to bits to be going to Northern Ireland. It is our only trip. It's not really a trip abroad, obviously, because it's still in the UK, but it is a trip off the mainland, if you like. So I'm thrilled to be doing that. We haven't booked anything in Europe this year at all. So.
No, because we're not sure whether we could go or what.
We can go. It's just whether we go.
So basically, I've planned. We've got the ferries booked, haven't we?
Yeah.
So we've got one.
The trip takes us up to New England Bay.
Yeah.
And we're going to stay there for two nights, aren't we?
Yeah.
We've got the ferry crossing, and that's from Cairnryan to Larne.
Yeah.
And then we're staying at the Curran Caravan Park at Larne just for one night.
That's just sort of right round the corner from the port. I thought just in case I'm not feeling too good and Poppy's got to stay in the van in a crate.
Yeah, because that was the thing that was putting you off.
It's putting me off. Let me be perfectly honest. It's the ferry crossing. For me and feeling sick, and for Poppy that I'm not 100% happy her staying in the crate in the van on the ferry deck.
No. She will be in a travel crate, so at least she's somewhere familiar, with familiar smells, if you like.
Yeah.
But the trouble with these car ferry decks is people forget to disable their alarms, and car alarms are going off all the time. I think she'll be all right.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd be too bothered by that, because, like I say, she's in a familiar place and she's safe in the van there.
Yeah.
But so that took a bit of convincing to get you.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to be close to the port. It's about half an hour, New England Bay, so that she hasn't got a big journey before we get there.
Or after.
Yeah. So
just sort of so we can just relax a little bit when we get there, rather than rushing off somewhere else.
Yeah.
And after that, we're going to Ballyness.
Yeah, I have booked this. We were looking forward to this last time.
Yeah.
I booked that Mills, is it called?
Mills, yeah. And so there's all the sort of the places around there,
Giant's Causeway and all your the Game of Thrones
sites and that sort of
thing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
So that should be the highlight of the tour, I think. Yeah. Plus, obviously, then we're moving on to Delamont.
No, we're not.
Oh, no, we're not.
No, we're not, because we've got this gap of four nights that I haven't booked anything yet. At the moment, the animal health certificate requirement to go to Northern Ireland is suspended. Now, whether it will still be suspended in September, we don't know, but we won't be able to do anything about that until 10 days before anyway.
No, and that's £100 and something, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get that, so obviously we need to know whether we need an animal health certificate, and there's also the question of whether we can go into Ireland as well. So I'm tempted to say let's get an animal health certificate and we could go into Ireland anyway, but I don't honestly know if you need an animal health certificate to get into Ireland.
I think you do, because I think you do, because then you are entering the EU, aren't you?
So if anyone's travelled to Ireland, please let us know.
Yeah, it seems sort of a bit up in the air. I mean, the thing about that is people have been paying £300, anything between £90 and £300, I've heard, for one of these. Yeah,
and it's up to the vets what they charge, of course.
Yeah, it is. There's no set fees for it.
No, and the worst thing is, of course, the vets have to do all the training for filling out this massive flaming document.
11 pages apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I don't know what you think about the whole arrangement, but I just think it's a complete idiocy.
Yeah, it's because we're part 2 listed, not part 1. If we were part 1, then we wouldn't need to do that. But you're going to the vet, aren't you, with Poppy for her annual?
Yeah, Poppy's got her annual
on the 18th.
Booster on the 18th.
So she's really looking forward to it.
Well, she doesn't know yet.
No, don't tell her. I won't tell her, no. Broke the needle one year, didn't she?
That's right. But at least then we can ask the vet, what's the current situation. But of course, when we get to September, that could all change.
It could all change, yeah.
And then we might find that we need to do something to get into Northern Ireland.
That's right, yeah. So I've left enough gap between the Wales and the Northern Ireland trip for the 10 days if we need to go and get one. Okay. So we have got this 4 days in between.
Which we may go into Ireland.
We may go into Ireland, or if we don't go into Ireland, I found a site called Castle Arch Caravan Park.
Okay, yeah.
Seems to be in a country park, and it seems to be a massive site. Yeah. And it's near the County Donegal border.
Right.
So I thought we could stay there and we could go across, but I keep looking at it.
I'd like to visit Donegal because my brother-in-law's got family ties in Donegal. So.
That's right, yeah. And I've just raided the Abbey in Assassin's Creed.
Oh, right.
Sorry. So after these 4 days that we're not sure what we're doing, we're going to Delamont Country Park, aren't we? Which is a camping and caravanning club site. It's the only club site for either of the clubs that's in Northern Ireland.
Is it?
Yeah.
I know the Caravan and Motorhome Club haven't got any sites.
No.
But there's only one for...
I think they've got an affiliated site, I think, the CMC, but couldn't find anything else, just came up with one site.
Yeah.
Then we're going, we've got the ferry to come back.
Yeah.
That's at 8 o'clock in the morning, so
we need to be near to the ferry.
We need to be near to the ferry, so I've got us at the moment going to book Kon-Tiki
Country Park,
Country Park, but I can't book it yet because the booking's not open, so that's up in the air, that one.
Okay.
Then we're coming back on the ferry.
To stay at Gaelston again.
Yeah, I thought, well, that's a little bit further than New England Bay, but it was 10 o'clock in the morning, so we couldn't get in the site anyway. If we come off the ferry and need Poppy and I aren't feeling great, we can just sit in the van, can't we, for a bit.
And back via Braithwaite Village Caravan and Camping and Caravanning Club site.
That's right. I really want to go there. Brand new site, minimum of 3 nights.
Is this the one they've just taken over?
It's a completely reconstructed new site.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, so I wanted to go. I was thinking of going there New Year, but I realised it was near a town, near Keswick, and I thought, no, that's not.
Okay, so it brings us right round to October.
It brings us right round to October. October, there's probably another NEC show, so I've just booked Somerswood again.
Yeah, again. 10 nights at Somerswood, yeah.
I know, yeah.
We will try and get out a bit more as well.
I know. I know. I go to the show and I think, and I see all the stands for do this tour, do that tour. I'm thinking
I'm sitting here.
I really want to
get on a tour. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we love Somerswood. Don't get us wrong, but sitting in one place for any length of time is not a good idea.
No.
So we'll try and get out a bit more and visit some of the places. We always say when we go to Somerswood, we should visit, for instance, the National Motorcycle Museum.
That's right, yeah.
Back to Gaydon, possibly. There's the National Motor Car Museum, I think, as well.
There's Kenilworth Castle.
Kenilworth Castle, yeah. All the sort of places we could be visiting when we're there.
Yeah. Well, the trouble is, if you're doing a lot of editing, you have to do it then, don't you?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what sometimes takes up our time.
Yeah, but I mean, if we make some time and we don't try and film everything that's there, or every van that's there, then hopefully we can make some time to do a little bit of touring whilst we're there.
So that's all I've got for October.
Yeah.
Then we've got the fireworks.
The annual firework escape.
Yeah, with Tara to Troutbeck for the bonfire, Halloween, that sort of time.
You tried to get into Meathop Fell, didn't you, rather than Troutbeck?
No, that's for New Year. I booked Meathop Fell for New Year. I'm just wondering if anybody was there this last New Year. Was it
like?
okay firework-wise? Because I think we've said, haven't we, somebody in the glamping part, the
I don't know
freedom
if
to
we did
go.
say actually.
Right.
It was really quiet at Troutbeck. Don't get this wrong, but right on midnight, of course, someone set some fireworks off and they were we know there was someone in the glamping pods up the top by the service pitches. And I don't think they realise that you're not supposed to set fireworks off on a campsite.
No. So that was a bit of a shock, and poor Tara was shaking for about half an hour
or so. Yeah.
She calmed down and was all right afterwards.
Yeah, I think the wardens went out with a torch to try and find out who was doing it, and eventually obviously found them and told them they shouldn't be doing it. So it stopped fairly quickly. But please, if you're planning on going to glamping pods, and I don't know if there's anyone who does glamping pods watching our videos about motorhomes, please don't set fireworks off at campsites. We went there to have peace and quiet, not to watch a firework display. If you want to watch a fireworks display, we could have stayed in Southport and they do an annual firework display, don't they?
Yeah, my sister said it started early evening, so we could have had the whole evening.
Yeah, that's right. I think in Crosby the fireworks start sort of beginning of October and go on to the end of February.
So poor little Tara is terrified. She really is, really shaking. Yeah. And Poppy just barks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know whether that helps Tara.
I don't think it helps.
Barking.
I don't think it helps. So Poppy just seems to enjoy herself barking at the fireworks.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to be worried about it. She just barks at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's more or less.
That's it, isn't it? That's page 2 of 2.
Yeah. And then I've got all my stuff I printed up, all to do with it. That's what I also find with a lot of these other different sites, that I need to print up, when we're going to what deposit we've got to pay.
Yeah, and whether we've paid a deposit.
Some of them wanted 50%, some of them wanted all the money and all this sort of thing. So
it real sort of remains what to say is what we've got to do, isn't it? So what we've got left to do for January, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, because with Christmas and everything else, we came back Monday, didn't we? So we haven't yet washed the van. I haven't washed the things that are in it, the beds or covers or anything like that. So I've got that to do. I've got to sanitise the water tanks. Yeah, I haven't done that for a while. Have a look at the toilet. I've just had a new delivery of Sol Bio, so I actually want to do a video on how we're getting on with that Sol Bio. So that's something else I'll be doing. We need to do our plans for the February NEC, what vans we're going to look at. Yeah. And otherwise, if I don't do a list, we just end up just overwhelmed, don't we? Don't know where to start. No, that's right. So I've tried to before do a list of vans we want to go and see. And I think what works well when we go and look at vans at the NEC is doing them in like various categories, family vans or or camper vans or do that. Videos I've got planned. That's the other thing I wanted to mention. I want to redo a video I did in 2017 about motorhome electrics, just the basics on electrics, what works when you're on campsite, what doesn't work when you're off grid and that sort of thing. And I know I did a video in 2017 and I was just watching it earlier and it was a good video, but it was a bit unstructured. So yeah, your editing skills weren't as good then. You were like wandering about, weren't you? Well, that's not editing, we're filming. Yeah, no, but now you do sort of like talkovers, don't you? Voiceovers. Is that it? Voiceovers, Mr. Voiceover. Mr. Voiceover comes along and helps out, yeah. Or you can show people what you're looking at rather than you behind the camera. Yeah, that's right. So it's easier to film what you're looking at and talk about it. So I want to redo that because I'm still seeing posts on Facebook. I suppose it will never end really because people are new to motorhomes, and it's the classic one is I've just picked up this new van. We're on our first trip out. I parked up in the lay-by, put the kettle on. And the sockets don't work. And the sockets don't work. So really sort of cover off some of those. And it was prompted really by Alison's experience of a vehicle battery not charging as well. So there's some good content I can do there, which will be helpful to people new to motorhomes. Yeah. The other thing I want to redo, and it's been one of the most popular videos, and I always hesitate to redo a really popular video, is our essential accessories for motorhoming.
and I look at that, and some of the things that I mentioned on there we don't use anymore.
No. So I suggested that, didn't I? You go back and look at that list to make sure we're still using them. As you can still buy them or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's right. I mean, I think I said some were essential there, and I don't think I've ever used it since I said they were essential. But so I really need to redo that video.
Yeah, so that's something you can be doing.
Yeah.
And then you were talking about your camera equipment. You haven't done an update.
No. I mean, I mentioned obviously we bought the Hero 10, this camera here.
Yeah.
And said how we were getting on with it. I want to do a little bit more about the Hero 10. I know a few people are using the Hero 10, so perhaps give you an idea how we're getting on with the Hero 10. And also, I don't think I really covered how we're using the microphones, these little things that we've got here, the wireless microphones. So I want to do that.
And how when we go along, or what we're using to record when we're going along still.
Yeah,
I mean, people often think we're using a dash cam and we're not.
No, I don't use dash cams really, because I'm probably going to go into my video here, but I don't use dash cams because they don't give you the same quality of footage that a proper camera, or at least a Hero, GoPro Hero can give you when you're going along.
And what we use for the sound, because obviously when we first started making videos, you couldn't hear what we were saying.
No.
So
hopefully we've improved the sound there.
Not without its technical issues sometimes.
But no, we're not immune to that, are we?
No, we've got a sound director, but
he's just over there.
Is he? Oh yeah, so he is, yeah. And the person with the clapperboard.
That's it, yeah. And I've got my production assistant, makeup assistant over there.
Yeah. I mean, I used to do a database for somebody who analysed making commercials, advertising, and the crew and how much they cost. And you'd have a production manager, wouldn't you? The production manager too, the production manager's assistant, and on and on and on.
Yeah, the production manager's brow wiping assistant.
That's right. Yeah.
You only have to look at films to see how many people are involved in making the films. Yeah. It's just us two.
It's us two and Poppy, and occasionally Tara helps out.
And a couple of cameras.
Yeah.
So on
that note, I think
that's about it. I think this video's gone on for, blimey, about 40 minutes, I think.
Oh, God. That's it? Kidding.
No, 40 minutes we've waffled on.
Right. Better not waffle anymore then.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing, really, isn't it?
Yeah, we didn't know what we were going to talk about when we started. So.
No.
So if you've watched this far, congratulations.
Well done.
Well done. I hope you found it interesting. If you did, give us a thumbs up. Don't bother giving us a thumbs down, because we never look at that anymore.
No, because it doesn't show.
It doesn't show whether
just ignore
dislikes
it.
or so we generally ignore that.
I just look at the nice thing that says, what it is between 99.9%, it normally says, doesn't it?
I absolutely love reading your comments, so please do leave a comment. Let us know what you're up to in the coming year. Have you booked everything? Are you waiting to see how things pan out, or are you just going to go for it? So I think that's it.
I think that's it, yeah.
We'll see you soon.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, okay then.
bye then.